Now, I don't know how many of y'all have ever heard of a red velvet Echeveria, because I had not. A good friend of mine, a neighbor, she called me from her place of work, which is Publix, and she said, "Carrie, they have red velvet Echeverias." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes," and I've talked to the produce manager, and he said you can have them for $1 a piece if you want them, that they were, going to get rid of them. And I hesitated because I've got a lot of plants. I really didn't need any more. And with my subscription to Mountain Crest Gardens and all the propagation I do, I have a lot. So I hated to pass up a good buy, though. My husband says, if it's on sale, you think you have to buy it. Anyway, I said, okay, I'll take them. And thank you for thinking of me. I'm glad that she knows that I collect Echeverias and I grow them, and that she thought of me, and I really do appreciate it. So I ended up with 16 plants for $12. And these were $12 and $13 plants. I don't know if it was like $12.99. And she had asked me when they had put them on clearance for $3 a piece. And I said, no, I'm not interested. So this is how they came. They're in the pots. They've all been blooming. And the blooms are dying back. So I think they thought they looked like they were dying, because that's usually what happens in our Publix. Where they're sitting, they don't get any natural sunlight. And they last a couple of weeks, and then they pretty much look bad, and then they're gone. And I know the sun is coming in right on my face. But anyway, these plants are gorgeous. I would have never bought one of these, because I really just didn't look at them, especially with the blooms dying back. But this is a hybrid. And excuse my voice and having to clear my throat. I'm still recovering from strep. But this is a hybrid. It's Echeveria pulvinata. So the way it got its name, the secondary name of pulvinata, refers to its Cushing-like leaves. So they are plump, and they feel like they have like a peach fuzz on them. This plant only grows to about 12 inches tall, and right now these are about at 6, so they're about halfway through their growing phase to get to their height. And then they'll look kind of like a small shrub. Then this species is from Mexico, and the cultivar originated in California. So this is a very nice plant. For $1, I'm thrilled. What am I going to do with all these? Who knows? I don't know yet. Of course, I have to give my mother one, have to give my daughter-in-law one, because my daughter-in-law's been collecting a lot of plants. But I've brought these out to the greenhouse, and I'm going to take all of this paper off. I'm not sure how these are in here, what kind of pot they're in. There we go. So you can see they're in a good-sized pot. I'm not sure what kind of root system these will have. They are putting on new growth. There's new little leaves forming, and you can see they kind of grow in clusters. And I'll show you another one here. You can see better with this paper off, and I think they would have sold better without this paper sticking up around them. See the little clusters? They almost look like they're crested, but they're not. That's just the way they grow. And this one has dropped some leaves, and it has put on new growth on those leaves. But the little tag that comes with these are a patented plant. So it says Red Velvet Echeveria USPP, so United States, probably patent pending, and it gives the number, and it says asexual propagation prohibited. But if you were propagating these plants, you could take a cutting, let that cut harden off or callus, and then you could repot it. But this is a beautiful plant, and what I will do, I can see that the part that has the blooms is kind of drying up. I will eventually just clip those off, and it looks like that's what they did at the nursery also, and you can see the blooms kind of dropping. But these actually have a moss covering on the soil mix. So water these plants regularly, and don't let the soil mix get completely dry. Think about your regular succulent. And you can see the clusters of leaves on these plants. They almost look like they're crested, and you can actually pinch the tips of the growing stalks, and they will produce a more bushy shrub-like plant, because they do grow like a shrub. So you can make them bushier and more compact as they grow taller. But I think these make a great little plant. I hope you like them, and I hope you'll hunt for these yourself. Like I said, the lady bought these from Publix. She works there, and she was able to get a good deal for me, and I'm very proud of them. So for the ending part of this video, I promised to show you how I prune these. So I'm going to go ahead and snip off anything that's dry and kind of desiccated. And I'm going to shape it as I go also. And these were all where the old blooms were. You can see some of these have large stalks coming out. And it kind of leaves them very misshapen. So I'm going ahead and cut those off. I'm more or less cutting these down to the first leaf. I'm having to do this while I'm looking through my phone because I'm filming it with my phone today, so it's kind of hard. So I left these three. I've already done the other ones. So this is how I'm trimming them. I want to shape it up. Remember that these will be kind of a bush form. So see how much better that little plant looks. And I'll take off all the dead around here, all the detritus. And see, like this one, I'm cutting all the way back to the bottom. And there's what I cut off. Now, see, that really cleaned that up. See how pretty they are once you take off all of the dead stuff? Really, really. And even this one, see how it only has one bloom, but it does have some new babies down at the bottom? I'm going to go ahead and cut that off because I want the shape to be better. Now, these I've already pruned, and see how they're almost like in clusters on the top? These are really, really nice plants. I'm very proud to have them. Now these are three that I've already trimmed, and I've got 3 different sizes because I'm going to do a little experiment with them. So this one I left the most foliage on, and then this one I left a little bit smaller, and then on the third one I clipped the most off. And then we're going to see which one does the best. You know, did I hurt it by cutting too much off? Or, you know, do they better by leaving a lot more on there? And then I've already put some crushed granite on these. And now I'm going to water. And the way I'm going to water these, they're all very, very dry. So I have my trusty little watering can here. And I'm going to soak them so that the whole root ball is very wet. And whatever water runs off in the bottom, this is a tray that doesn't have any holes, so it's going to hold the water. And I want to have enough water in the bottom of this tray that they actually sit in water for a few hours, because I want the root ball to soak up all that water, because these are so dry that the soil mix is pulling away from the sides, and they're just very, very dry. You can see on these how dry the mix is. But I had cleaned all of the fallen leaves and stuff off, and they've already dropped some more. They really, really need watering. But I'm going to fill this up with a little bit more water. I'd like about 1 inch depth water on there, and then I'm going to let them soak all that up, and then I'll put 3 more in, or 4, whatever it'll hold. And that will be how I water these red velvet echeverias. I just think they're so pretty, and I think these are going to be a great addition. And then we'll decide what to do with all the extra. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for joining me on Garden Rudiments today, and thank you for watching this about a red velvet echeveria. And I'll see you next time on Garden Rudiments.